All right, hello and welcome. I'm Emmi Labyrinth, and today we are gonna be working on a bad story. Today, I wanted to kind of focus on the imperfection that is writing, and how it can like affect people, like us as people. Um, for me, I find that I am such a bad storyteller in the beginning of a story because I personally do not do any outlines. I don't outline my stories, and so it's just kind of me getting to know my characters over a course of time, and that is fine. That is totally fine. But whenever I go back and read it, I realize how bad it is. And then I end up spending a whole lot of time editing it and going through it. And then I realize it's just the process. It's literally just the process, and it's perfectly normal to have something like that happen. And that is something that I kind of wanted to go through today, by writing a really cringy, a really bad story. Um, and my inspiration for today is my weekly nightmares. It's it's been like a really oncurring kind of like set of events for me. I've been having this reoccurring dream of falling down a mine. It's really weird. Like it's some Alice in Wonderland shit, and I don't like it because it's creepy. So I don't know what I'm. It always opens in like a green grassy, like really like pretty like meadow. It always opens there, and eventually I'm a dumbass and I follow this like trail of bones. There is a literal trail of like small animal bones that like line this path. And eventually I get to like this mine and I end up going in, like something like calls me into it, and I fall down. Like I fall down the mine. And when I'm down there, I see this horrific creature. Like it freaks me out every time I see him. He scares me so much. Um so he if you know what a corpse looks like. Oh god. I don't even it's weird. It's so weird describing this. So I just want to get through this so that we can like get to the story real quick because this is like my basis. So it's this I'm trying to like my mind is like racing just thinking about him because again, he really creeps me out and I get scared easily. So how can I say this? He has like yellowy skin, like it's waxy, and then it's like, you know, when like skin is like stretched out on like like when someone is like scary skinny, like their skin is like stretched out on the bone and like you can kind of like see everything. It's kind of like that. Or like think Attack on Titan, like it's like the specifically like the teeth, like specifically like the jaw, like at the opening of the teeth, like you can see it very clearly, and it's very like his jaw is very like sharp, very like just teeth. It's like there's no cheek, there's just teeth, very sharp, kind of like a skull, like just like kind of like a skull, but like again, like skin just like draped over it, like just very creepy. But the worst thing, I personally hate this, and it's a really like spiny back, like it's just so it grosses me out. I always get so creeped out. I did anatomy at one point. I had to take an entire class on anatomy, and I did not like it because I would get so creeped out by everything. But we're kind of gonna be like writing about this experience and like this creature, and but I want to start out somewhere. I'm like, I'm thinking, where do we want to start the story? Because again, I don't really have an outline, so we're just gonna kind of think about one while we're writing. Also, the other thing is, this is going to be cringy. This is going to be bad. This is going to sound so terrible and so horrifying that you're never gonna want to see this again. Okay? Like, it's gonna be that bad. It's not something you want to watch over and over again. It's not gonna be a story that it's like, I love it so much, let's reread it and reread it. It's going to just be bad until, like, I eventually go back and I'm like, fine, I'll edit you. Because you're an interesting story. Because you can have a good idea, but you can also have a bad story at the same time. So, I'm not saying that this is a good idea. I'm not saying that that the Bone Man is a good idea. But I'm saying that it can become a good idea. It can become a good story. It's just, you gotta write the bad out of it first. Because there's points where it's like, maybe you're not good at dialogue, maybe you're not good at descriptions. I am good at neither at this point, because my mind is like, what are we writing? I don't know. So, without further ado, we shall get into this. Yay! Finally! We're actually getting into it. Alright, so starting off, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start writing it a little bit, like, over, and it's going to be like, so where do we really want this to take place? So I want somewhere that's grassy, green, meadow. If I spell anything wrong, it is fine. Ignore it, because this is a bad story. There might be some really bad spelling. I also have to make that note because, my god, whenever I write, I can't spell right. So we want grassy, green, we want meadow. Where could this be? I'm thinking like maybe like a house in the middle of nowhere. That's what I'm thinking right now. Like, where would this be? Like, where would I have to go to get to this hole? Like, where would I have to be? And what would I be doing? Maybe we're picking flowers. Picking flowers in the field, or maybe out for a morning walk. Okay, morning walk. Maybe there's something else that we're doing. Maybe we're going somewhere. Maybe we're off to go visit someone. Maybe going to visit someone. Maybe there's another person involved, because like we want more characters, we want more people. So who could be involved? Who could this be? Maybe the scary like skull creature is a shapeshifter. Maybe he's a shapeshifter, and he's our friend. Again, if I can spell shapeshifter, is it one or two words? There we go. Shapeshifter, friendly. These are all just like ideal words for me right now. Like, what are we looking for? You know, what are we looking for in this story? So, going into this is what I kind of have. So, maybe we're being deceived by this shapeshifter and he's luring us into something else. Like, he's trying to eat us. Because why not? Why not? Why not eat a child? Why not? Why not eat you? Maybe I'm just a friendly bear in the woods and they want to eat me. So, how are we gonna start this story? It's gonna be awful, but it's gonna be fine. So, I'm thinking. I'm like, I gotta think now. Oh god. So, I'm thinking, what could we do? What could we be? What? This is my process, okay? I'm like, what are we and what can I actually do? So, let's say, what would be a weird place that just have mines everywhere? Like, I'm trying to think. Maybe we left the house. We're in our little, like, frolicking era, or whatever we want it to be. Oh god, I don't know. This is difficult. This is difficult because now I'm scared because I'm like, oh, let's write a bad story, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to write a bad story. But let's just see what this happens. So, walking along. Walking along the narrow path. Again, this doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be bad. This is where I'm struggling personally. The first couple of sentences and I'm already struggling with this. It's also because it's a new concept to me, so I'm like, it's fine. Walking along the narrow path. And now this is where we're trying to get into this. Also, I might add way more commas than needed at any given time. This is a disclaimer for commas. Like, this is a full-on disclaimer for commas. Why? I just heard an ad. Goddamn. I hate myself. I love that I was like, oh, fun. We'll try to edit that part out eventually. Maybe not. Oh, it's funny. I don't have my headphones on right now because the music distracts me when I'm doing this stuff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there was an ad, and that's kind of funny that there was an ad. So, walking along the narrow... I didn't even say path! I just said narrow! Again, this is where my mind, like, draws blanks and doesn't do things very much. So, walking along the narrow path... Let's do a boy! No, that makes it worse. That makes it so much worse. Let's do a boy! Oh god. I was like, no, we'll just do like, we'll not even say little. A girl. We'll just say a girl. A child. No, we're not making it a child. We're not making this thing a child because it would be naive. It would be naive enough to follow a path of fucking bones. Walking along a girl made her way. There we go. There we go. We're finding it. We're finding the story. Walking along the narrow path, a girl made her way back to her grandmother's house. There we go. Mother's house. From a day of picking flowers in the field. There we go. So, from a day of picking flowers in the field. So we have girl, we have field, we have grandmothers. Again, I'm just gonna ignore that for right now. I don't give a shit. I'm like, I don't care. Ugh. This is harder than I thought. Okay. Alright. Again, this can be bad. This is where I'm struggling. I'm like, this can be so bad if you let it. If you let it be bad. So, walking along the narrow path. I'm gonna read this aloud, like, multiple times to, like, get something flowing. Walking along the narrow path, a girl made her way back to her grandmother's house from a day of picking flowers in the field. There was nothing on her mind at the moment. But a strange... So... A strange feeling faltered. No. Would that work? Faltered? Again, I'm just kind of like whispering it at this point. There was nothing on her mind at the moment, though a strange feeling would soon strike her. There we go. Walking along, I'm like, again, we're just gonna keep reading it. There was nothing on her mind at the moment, though a strange feeling would strike her soon. When on the path, a man appeared. He was charming. He was charming. What else? What else can we think of? He was charming. What? I can't snap, so this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying. I don't know if that... It probably picked up way too much. I cannot snap for the life of me. So what are we doing? So I'm like, okay. So he was charming. No. What was he? When on the path, a man appeared. He looked lost. He was pacing about as if he were looking for the right way to go. We are not telling people exactly what the fuck they want, but we're just gonna do this. When on the path, a man appeared. He was pacing about as if he were looking for the right way to go. When he noticed the girl, he asked. Okay. On noticing the girl, he asked. No. I'm trying to think. So I don't want to switch point of views. That's where I struggle with. I switch point of views like back and forth between everything. But we'll see. As the girl got closer. You know what would be fun? Oh, I have an idea. So I don't know what time period this is, but whenever I think like meadows, grassy, like hillside, like I don't know why I think of someone like dressed up so much. I don't know why, but like she's probably in like a little pink dress and he's probably wearing like a little, like maybe like not a suit, but like maybe like a waistcoat, and maybe like I'm just thinking about something else. Am I? I think that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what time period this is, but it's old. It has to be like 1900s. It has to be. Like waistcoat, it has to be 1900. It has to be somewhere in there. I would say probably like late 1800s, early 1900s. That's where we're placing the story. That's where we're gonna place this weird, creepy story. Alright. As the girl got closer, she noticed a small tear in the man's pocket. Yeah. Okay, apparently we might be doing an Alice in Wonderland thing. That's where my mind's going. Because, hear me out real quick. White rabbit, waistcoat. But it's a man. But it's a man. Alright. There was nothing on her mind. When on the path a man appeared, he was pacing about as if he were looking for the right way to go. As the girl got closer, she noticed a small tear in the man's pocket. So, she decided... No. She then decided to go and tell him. Directly. Again, this is weird. Just weird. I heard a door open. Is someone home? Okay, that creeped me out, but I'm sure there's an explanation. Okay. I'm like continuing on. This is just, ugh. We don't know what's happening now. So, he wouldn't tell them directly. So if this is like the 18th, I don't want to like try anything, but like I'm sure they would be polite to each other. She'd just go up to him and be like, "Sir, I think there's a problem with your pocket," or like something like that, or "Look, your like blah 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 blah," and like, "Oh, thank you," like, "Thank you," or just like something, "Oh, you. Again, dialogue is not my strong suit. He didn't even notice. Let's just have this. He didn't even fucking notice her. Do that. Walking along the narrow path, the girl made her way back to her grandmother's house from a long day of picking flowers in the field. There was nothing on her mind at the moment, though a strange feeling would strike her soon. When on the path, a man appeared. He was pacing about as if he were looking for the right way to go. As the girl got closer, she noticed a small tear in the man's pocket. She then decided to go and tell him directly. The man did not notice. When she approached, we'll keep it like that. Approached. The man did not notice when she approached him. Finding that, the man did not notice when she approached him. So, to get his attention. She lightly tugged at his side. Alright, and then this is where the dialogue comes in, and I'm terrible at dialogue. Sir. I'm like thinking. So, sir, there's a small tear in your side pocket. She told him, though. So he still doesn't notice her. He must be very tall. He's gotta be like towering, and just like this kid's just coming up and being like, Sir, you have a hole in your pocket. This is very important information for me to tell you. Alright. The man did not notice when she approached him, so to get his attention, she lightly tugged at his side. Sir, there's a small tear in your pocket, she told him, though he still did not notice her. Once again, tugging on his coat, did he finally notice. Oh god, that would be creepy. So, you know like those things, like when their neck gets super long? Like, it like starts like turning into another thing. Ooh, okay, I have an idea. I don't know if we're gonna actually, let's write it in. I don't care. This is gonna be bad, but I like it. I'm liking it already. Once tugging on his coat, did he finally notice? He finally turned to look at her. Oh, this was not the man he had originally thought he would be. His skin turned to wax. His skin turned to wax. This just seems like a dream sequence, which it really was. It was just a weird dream sequence that I had. His skin turned to wax. The sound of his neck sound. His skin turned to wax. His eyes glazed over. And he revealed. I don't know how to spell revealed. Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it. I don't know. I'm just writing, okay? It's fine. His skin turned to wax, his eyes glazed over, and he revealed that he had no true face. Horrified, the girl turned to run. Running far away from the man and trying and back to her grandmother's house. Oh, yeah, no, I would also be horrified if that fucking sequence of events happened to me. She forgot everything. Dropping her basket of flowers that she once carried. She could get away from the man. Okay, so we have a decent amount. Honestly, it doesn't sound bad, but I feel like there's definitely room for improvement on my part. Like the basket of flowers, I feel like we could explore that more. Like we could put more of that into it and be like, oh, she was carrying it, and then we could describe, not like go into like full description, but actually like kind of like talking about it a little bit more instead of just being like, oh, she just dropped it and ran, you know. But other than that, I'm thinking it sounds fine. But again, when you write yourself, you feel like it's a bad story, and that is perfectly fine. Again, you're gonna have probably some spelling mistakes, some grammar mistakes, just anything really, because you are trying to get everything you're thinking on paper and written down and just doing whatever you possibly can to finish it and actually get it to work and to actually be happy with it. And this is what I'm struggling with, is like, am I happy with my writing? Will I ever be happy with my writing? Probably not until I edit it fully. But I'm kind of liking the dream sequence that I've like come up with, because it's just, it feels interesting and it feels like chaotic, but I don't think I would actually start here, like her just walking back to her grandmother's house. I think I would start at a different point, but this would be something that I would go into. Like maybe I'd start further into the storyline than I would start here. You know, I personally have a really hard time like building, so I like getting to like some point of action, like again, starting out with the man revealing himself would be like very interesting to me. So like kind of like getting into that, like it's a good start, but it's not something that I would actually really want to start on, if that makes sense. Like I still like it, but it's not something I would really want to start a story on. But it would just be kind of intense and creepy. Like maybe I'd write something about the cave of bones or something, and like you're just like in this feeling, and then eventually it's like she was just thinking about it while she was walking back, and she was like, it was just really creepy, it was an experience, it was just something that was happening to me. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not the best writer or storyteller or anything, but I enjoy writing, and I get very obsessed with things, and maybe if I write about him, he will go away from my nightmares. Honestly, I'm gonna name him Steve because I hate him that much. I'm just gonna name him Steve and pretend like I'm not afraid of him. Alright, so let's just kind of continue. I'm thinking I'm gonna write a couple more, like, maybe to 300 words, and then we'll stop because I personally have to get going pretty soon. Sadly, I have to get going pretty soon, just because I have plans for the day and I gotta get ready, and I just woke up and I decided to do this. So it's fun, but it's not the best. So we're just gonna finish this and then we'll head up. But let's see. Let's see where we are in the story. So we have dropping her basket of flowers that she once carried to ensure she could get away from the man. She wasn't able her grandmother's house
No two bodies are the
before.
same. Some pets never got that message, but always Flex Foam did. It protects against different flows for up to 0
For the man
and it flexes to fit all bodies for up to 0 feel. Feel it
got a
yourself.
hold of her.
Always Flex Foam.
She let out a shriek. I'm just gonna spell Shrek. Shriek. I cannot spell, okay? We'll go. She let out a shriek of terror. Once she was grabbed. To face him. I'm like, the man slowly turned her to face him. Now revealing a perfectly normal face. He was handsome. Should we say clean shaven? I don't know. I'm like, this is where my mind goes. I'm like, he was handsome, he was put together, like what do we want to say? He was handsome and well put together. Again, we'll figure it out later. Well put together. Nothing like the man you saw before. He then asked if she was alright. I'm not gonna go into some more dialogue because honestly, I have such a hard time writing dialogue, and so I'm like, usually it's if I just do this, it's fine until I go back and like edit it a little bit more. He was handsome and well put together, nothing like the man she saw before. He then asked if she was alright. For the terror that she had also given him an awful fright. Alright, we have 310 words. And honestly, let's see how many words we have without that. We have about 284, so let's kind of like finish that, just because we have these. He was handsome and well put together, nothing. A shock. Let's see. No. The shock of seeing the awful creature had stirred something in her. Something she knew would come for her now. We'll kind of like leave it at that, and let's see. Now we have 304 words. So let's just read this through and see if this actually makes sense, and then we'll kind of end it. So, walking along the narrow path, a girl made her way back to her grandmother's house. From a day of picking flowers in the field, there was nothing on her mind at the moment, though a strange feeling would strike her soon. When on a path a man appeared. He was pacing about as if he were looking for the right way to go. As the girl got closer, she noticed a small tear in the man's pocket. She then decided to go and tell him directly. The man did not notice when she approached him, so to get his attention, she lightly tugged at his side. Sir, there's a small tear in your side pocket, she told him, though he still did not notice her. Once tugging on his coat, did he finally notice. He finally turned to look at her, though not the man she had originally thought he would be. His skin turned to wax, his eyes glazed over, and he revealed that he had no true face. Horrified, the girl turned to run, running far away from the man and back to her grandmother's house. She forgot everything, dropping her basket of flowers that she once carried to ensure she could get away from the man. She wasn't able to reach her grandmother's house before the man got a hold of her. She let out a shriek of terror. Once she was grabbed, the man slowly turned to her to face him, now revealing a perfectly normal face. He was handsome and well put together, nothing like the man she had saw before. He then asked if she was all right, for the terror that she had also given him an awful fright. The shock of seeing the awful creature had stirred something in her, something she knew would come for her now. Something she knew would come for her now. I don't know what that last bit is, but it's fine. Oh, the cat's here now. Fun. But this has kind of like been my bad journey of story writing and just kind of what I experience on a quote-unquote daily basis. I go through a lot of the time and I have a really hard time writing and just sitting down, and something that really helped me get through this like bad writing stage is just having a routine and kind of like figuring more stuff out about that. But for now I have to go, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning. All right, bye.